Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. Over the past few months, we've been busy improving our platform to help you build decision trees faster, better, and smarter on Zingtree. And you've been invited to this webinar because your organization will soon be upgraded to our new authoring experience. We're super excited to show you what we've been working on and what you can expect when you are upgraded, as well as some of our plans for the future. So let's talk a little bit about what our agenda is today, and then I'll introduce our team. So on today's call here, we're going to probably keep this as short as possible. I'm going to give you a tour of our new authoring experience. And we're going to hear from our Chief Product Officer regarding how we got to where we are today and where we're going in the future. And then at the end, we will take your questions. So I am Debbie McCormick. I'm the Director of Education and Implementation. I've been with Zingtree since its inception, and I've worked really closely with our two co-founders for the past 20 years or so. We also have Brandon Anderson, Chief Product Officer. We're lucky to have Brandon. He comes to us from NBC Sports, Sports Engine, Amazon, Dow Jones. Say hi, Brandon.
Hi, everyone.
And Dante Vono, who's our User Experience Director. He's going to give our demo today. Show you what you can expect in the new authoring experience. Dante comes to us from Wall Street Journal, MarketWatch, and Wolters Kluwer. And one more person that's with us today from the Zingtree team that isn't on this slide is Nick Barch. Nick is an education specialist with us, and you'll soon be hearing more from Nick in the form of videos, new videos that we have started to put together for you to update all of our video offerings and tutorials on Zingtree. So Dante and Nick, say hi.
Thanks, Debbie. Hello.
Yeah, thanks, Debbie. Nice to be here.
Okay. So with that, let's get started. And I think it would be great if Brandon Anderson could kick us off. And guys, if you've any questions, you can put them in the Q&A. There's a Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. And you can drop those in there and we'll answer them near the end here. Go ahead, Brandon.
Great. Thanks, Debbie. Hi, everyone. I am, like Debbie said, I'm Brandon Anderson. I'm the Chief Product Officer at Zingtree. I came to Zingtree about 6 months ago and have been hard at work kind of creating the team that's bringing forth this new authoring experience for you. So I'm really excited to talk to you today a little bit about the authoring experience, and then Dante will go through an actual demo so you'll be able to see it in action. Before I do that, though, I'd like to just first off thank you all for attending today or for watching this video. Really appreciate your time. And even more importantly, I appreciate that you all are customers of Zingtree and that you've helped us to the success that we've found, and that we're able to return that favor by creating a great experience for you and improving the tools that you use to do your day-to-day jobs. So within Zingtree, we have a large group of people, engineers, product managers, user experience professionals, security pros, who kind of all come together in harmony to bring a great experience out to our customers. And we recognize that our software in a number of ways needs updating. And so we're super excited about this new authoring experience. Fundamentally, what we're trying to accomplish with this new experience, which you'll see here momentarily, is really about making your work more efficient, helping you do your jobs better, bringing more tools to your toolkit, and then having your end user experience, your end customer experience be improved. So we're hard at work on this. Today, we're going to show you the new authoring experience. Towards the end of the meeting here today, or the webinar here today, I'm going to talk a little bit about what's coming in addition to this new experience. So we're very excited. We have great ambitions. We look forward to getting more tools in your hands. We look forward to receiving your feedback. So if you don't get a question answered here today, I look forward to receiving emails or questions from you in different forms in the future where we can help answer your questions. So without further ado, let me just talk a little bit more about this. So we have these goals here off to the side. So what you're going to see with this new authoring experience is that we've upgraded the user interface, or what we call the UI. So the new UI is a cleaner look. It's easier to navigate. It's easier to kind of waymark where you're at in the process of using Zingtree and building out your trees or amending your processes. So you're going to see that things are more, they're placed in the place that you would expect them to be. Right. And so you're going to see kind of that things are starting to get grouped together in a way that mentally you're saying, okay, that makes sense that these things are grouped here. So we expect that you'll see these changes, and over time, as you become accustomed to it, you'll become more efficient and more proficient within Zingtree and be able to do your work faster and better. Our fundamental goal here is to make sure that the trees are really easy to build. And we're going to be adding new features and capabilities to make that happen even more so from this new authoring experience out into the future. Additionally, the new authoring experience is on top of some new code, which increases the overall speed and performance of Zingtree. So you're going to see that it's a little bit snappier than what the previous version was. We also enhanced some of the security protocols on an already secure platform. So we're leveling up even further on the security front with our new authoring experience. So I'm super excited about it. This really comes from all the feedback that we've received from customers like yourselves. So I'd ask that you continue to ask our team for new enhancements, for new capabilities, for us to make modifications that make your jobs easier. Our goal is to really listen to you and make sure that we're providing you with a great experience. So I will stop talking now, and I'm going to hand this over to Dante, because I think you probably just want to see how this looks. So Dante Bono is our Director of User Experience, and he's going to be walking you through a demo next.
That's right. Thank you, Brandon. I'm excited to be your tour guide today. And what we're going to see is how the new authoring experience is easier to learn, it's easier to use, but it's more powerful. And the way we're going to do that is actually by starting in the familiar experience you have today, what we call classic Zingtree. And what we'll be doing is making a series of edits, probably things that you've done many times. We're going to move between the classic and the new authoring experience, so you can really see side by side the way that we've made this easier to use and more powerful and faster. So we're not there yet, but we'll start here in the familiar My Trees page. And certainly you have trees to manage, and you have to find what they are. And how do you find the tree that you're looking for? You might scroll through the list. You might use a tag to show what you're looking for. Maybe you've done this. Just search on the page. So we have to modify today a tree that has the word script in it. And this kind of helps us do that, right? We can see that we have a few different trees that have that word in them. But let me just compare that to new authoring. So here's new authoring. This maybe doesn't look that different. We're going to see some really exciting stuff in a moment, but we want to start you off in a familiar place. So the My Trees page has all the things that you have today, but more. So for example, let's try that same thing that I was just doing a moment ago. We're going to search for script. And now when we type script, we can filter instantly as we type and see exactly the trees that have that matching text. So we're going to make an edit to one of these, but let's go back to classic and start it there so we can really get that side-by-side comparison. So the one that I'm going to be editing today is this one here, agent script. And what we have to do is change some numbers in here. So some numbers have changed in our product, and we have to reflect that in here. So we'll go and look for that information. the thing that we're looking for is the number of 7,000 square feet. This number has changed to 6,000 square feet. So we have to make sure we've updated every instance of this and that it's correct. So the first thing we'll do is identify that text. We'll jump in here. We'll find where we have that text and we'll change 7 to 6 there. We'll change 7 to 6 there. And then we see this also goes elsewhere in the tree. So we have to make sure we go to 7 and 8. But we'll stop and save to do that first. Now we found 7. Let's change that. We want to change this title. I'm saving these changes along. We're back at the top of the list, but we want to go to 8. So we have to scroll back down and find 8 and edit this node and change this. So I won't go any further than that. This is something that you're familiar with, but keep that in your mind. And we have the same tree here in new authoring. So let's open that. What you'll notice right away is a view of the tree content itself. We've jumped straight into the tree. We've bypassed any navigation because we can get you faster into the work you need to do. So what you see is a side-by-side view. This is the kind of the main layout of new authoring, which is a list of nodes on the left and the content inside that node on the right. And there are a couple other screens we'll look at in a moment, but this is the main thing that we're going to start with now. So let's try to do that same update that we made a moment ago. We can filter the nodes here, similar to how we filtered the trees. But what I really want to focus on is how easy it is to move between nodes and make edits. So let's start with this one here. We're going to select that node and we're going to find our changes and we're going to change that to 6. And we're going to change that one to 6. Now, what we saw a moment ago is we had to save, go back to a list of nodes, scroll down the list of nodes. But here, we don't have to do that. We could just keep exploring the tree and we can click on the next one. And on this one, we can change that from 7 to 6 and that from 7 to 6 and so on. And maybe you just noticed something there. I didn't have to save this. That's because new authoring auto saves my work as I go along. And I don't know if you've ever navigated away from your page or accidentally clicked the back button and missed an opportunity to save a change. Well, you won't be able to do that. All your changes will be saved. So that's going to make you more accurate as well as working faster. So the side-by-side method here, you can see I can just select my node on the left. I can make my change on the right. And we've made these changes faster than before because we're not loading different pages and scrolling through those pages. So let's go back to classic authoring to make another update. But as I do along the way, I'm going to just sort of pause these screens halfway so you can get a sense of another update, which is how new authoring really maximizes the screen real estate. Take a look at where this node title is here, near the top of the screen, where when we move into classic, you can see it's about halfway down the screen on the screen size that I'm using. So what you have to do currently is scroll past things that aren't relevant to the node you're working on. Here we put that as close to the top of the page as possible. It's just a small change, but something worth noting. Okay, well, I'm going to check my list here for the next thing that I need to do, and that's to go back to the list of nodes. And now here's a place where I've forgotten to make my change. Maybe you noticed before I didn't hit save. We didn't have to do that in new authoring because it saved automatically. So now we're back at our list of the nodes, and I have a change here in my notes to go to 14 and change the text on a button. So here it is, node 14, and I want to change this button here to yes. So I'm going to edit this node. And I have to make my change here to yes, but actually what I really want to do is focus on a couple areas of this node. That's the data entry field. There's something I want to check here perhaps, and then the action buttons. These are the two areas that for this change are relevant. I don't need to look at any of this other stuff. But what you notice in Classic is that because these are in different tabs, I have to toggle back and forth between them, or maybe look at content, see what it says there, and then over to data entry field. So it's kind of bouncing around. Let's go over to the new authoring and we'll find that same node here, 14. And what you'll notice in new authoring is that we have the same information there, but instead of presented as tabs, it's presented as sections, and sections that you can actually collapse or expand. So if I collapse all of these, you can see that the ones that I want to focus on are just the data collection and just the question and answer button. So I can change this to reflect whatever I'm working on at the time. So keep the things in view that I want and not look at the things that, that don't matter to the task at hand. So we're going to change this here to, what was my change? I think it was to change OK to yes. It looks like I did this already yesterday in my rehearsal. So that's what it started off as, and we're going to change that to yes. We didn't actually make the change in the classic authoring, so let's do that. So we're going to change that to yes. So when you've edited a node, you've probably wanted to preview it. Maybe you want to see what it looks like. And so perhaps you've used this method before to do that. And sometimes when you're authoring a tree, you might want to see where this goes next. And so if we click that here, you'll get an error message. Now there's other ways to navigate the preview of this tree, but right from this screen, at least from edit, no, that's not something I was able to do. Let's see how that works in new authoring. So here I've made my change and I want to see what that looks like. So I'm going to preview that. And now when I click that, it's actually going to bring me to that destination node. So I can see in clicking yes, I went to 15. So I can actually flip between editing and previewing and navigating, and it all happens here on that same screen. So this highlighted note here gets me to my next change, which is I want to check the logic here. I think that maybe there's 2 nodes going into 15, and I just want to check and see what those are, and maybe I want to add a third option. And we'll do that in a moment, but let's first try to do that in the classic Zingtree authoring. So if you've had to check the logic of your tree, perhaps you've used one of the tools built into classic authoring, such as the visual designer. So let's try that. So remember, what we're trying to do here is, do 2 nodes go into 15? I need to see what's happening at node 15 and maybe add another option. So we'll go here, we'll scroll to the right to find that. There it is. I think I can kind of see that there's another node that comes from. We do have another way to view that. Maybe you've used the auto arrange. That makes it a little easier to see. But you'll notice that when I want to edit it, I can't. I have to go back here. And I have to scroll back again to the node 15. So you can see what I'm trying to illustrate here. It's the extra steps that you have to take in order to, decode the logic of the tree and then make the corresponding changes. So let's just try that here. So what we want to check actually is, does node 11 go into, which nodes does it go into? We can see that here. It goes into 15 and 14, but we have a much better view in new authoring of this. And that's the visual editor view or the visual designer. So when I flip over to the visual view, I can see a clean flowchart that obviously shows me that 11 has 2 choices that move into 14, 15, and I can see, oh yeah, here it is. This is what I was looking for. 15 comes in from 14 and 11, and I can see that. And I don't have to click an auto arrange. I can zoom out and see the whole thing. I can zoom in and just see the section I want. And I can continue to edit the tree. So if I wanted to make a change here, say to this, so maybe I want to add a third option here. We'll call that third option maybe. So if I want to do that, I can do that right from here. And I can actually see it on the flowchart as I've done that. And if I want to flip over to the list view, I can do that as well. Now I'm just going to remove this because there's actually, in addition to seeing this in the flowchart view, there's an important improvement that we've made to the efficiency of the product. And I'm just going to actually show you that in Classic so you can really appreciate the improvement that we've made there. So I'm going to exit here and I'm going to go to, it was, yes, 11. So I'm going to add a maybe option here. So let's do that. So I'm going to add a new button. My new option is maybe. I'm going to save. Now I'm back at the top. You notice the theme here, lots of starting at the top and going to the bottom, and we've mitigated that in new authoring. Here's my new button. I'm going to click that, and now I need to create a new node. And I need to select the kind of node. And I need to put my text in there for that. So I've completed that process of adding the node, but let's go back here and just do that one more time so you can see what's actually happened. There's a number of things that were separate steps are now a single step. So node 11, I've got my yes and no. And when I add my maybe, I'm using the tab key. As soon as I hit the tab key, what you'll see is that the link to node is selected, but the creation of a new node is in the same step, because this is what you want to do anyway, right? If you add a new button text, it's going to correspond to a new node or an existing one, which you can do. But if it's a new node, we can just select that. And we've actually done right here in a single step what we just did in Classic through the sequence of a number of screens. So I hope that illustrates how the new authoring is easier to learn, easier to use, and more powerful. And that easier to learn thing, keep that in mind if you've ever had to train a colleague who's new to the product. Maybe you have. And just imagine onboarding a new colleague, someone who's going to use Zingtree for the first time. We think that they're going to have a much better experience, and they're going to understand the flow and logic of that decision tree and new authoring much quicker than they can today. So we'd love to hear your thoughts on that too.
Thank you, Dante. And again, everyone, please drop your questions into the Q&A. So make sure you hit that QA button at the very bottom of the screen, and then drop your questions in there. We already have a couple that we're going to answer for you. I'm going to hand it back to Brandon briefly to go over what we can expect to come.
Yeah, thanks, Debbie. And I appreciate the demo, Dante. I think the few examples that you chose to show the audience here today are super powerful. And it's really indicative of what we're trying to accomplish with the improvements that we're making within our product and engineering team to improve the experience that our customers have with Zingtree. So we're dedicated to continuing to enhance our platform. We've been, rapidly scaling our product and engineering team. We have big ambitions, like I mentioned earlier. These are three of the sections or themes that we're really tackling in 2022 and beyond. So what you're seeing with new authoring is largely the start of what's going to be a really great journey with our application, where we're going to continue to enhance core features within our platform. We're going to listen to customer feedback. We're going to be building out prototypes and doing customer research and getting all of their opinions on how we can improve. And then we're going to be bringing things to bear and to fruit so that you have more tools in your toolkit. So a couple of the things that I want to call out here are on the slide. So what you've seen with the new authoring, we're going to continue to enhance the user experience. We're going to continue to be focused on removing steps that it takes to create a tree, to add webhooks, to build out your variables. All of those are kind of in our scope of what we're looking at and tackling. So our Dante and our user experience team, our product managers are focused on working through some of the enhancements that we're going to be bringing forth over the course of the next couple of quarters. So very exciting to see this new authoring as a base, but it's going to continue to accelerate with more tools and better capabilities and more efficiency. A couple of the other areas within the core application that we're going to be enhancing are within the tree management and permissions management. So the My Trees section of what Dante showed, we want to bring forth a lot more capabilities in in that area. How do organizations manage large number of trees? How are they able to group those trees, to tag them, to search for them effectively? And then how do they tie those to the permissions of the users within their organization? So we want to bring more capabilities in the permission set, and then we want to attach those permissions to the tree management capabilities that we're going to be bringing forth. So we're currently in the prototype phase of the tree management and permissions. We're going to be taking that prototype and we'll be doing customer panels on it, getting their feedback, continuing to enhance that. And then we're going to start to iteratively roll that out over the course of 2022. So that's very exciting. We think that that's going to be, it's an overdue feature. And we're excited to see how that kind of gets used in the ecosystem, and we'll continue to evolve it after that initial launch, of course. The second main area is within the integrations. The power of Zingtree is that one of the powers of Zingtree is that it's used within existing technology stacks that our customers use. So we really need to make sure that Zingtree integrates with the technology our customers are using, that we find our place in there, and so that we can help the customers, our customers, be more efficient and connect us with more of their existing systems. So what you're going to see is a concentration on integrations to core technologies, also more integrations that you can use within a tree building process itself. So like, for example, we have an integration with Slack where you can shoot off Slack messages within the tree building process. We want to add more capabilities for you to have more different integrations that you can utilize within that tree building experience. So there's a team dedicated to building those out right now. I'm excited as we kind of bring some of those into production and out to our audience. We're also going to be enhancing a bunch of the resources underneath the hood, right? It's a little bit difficult right now to figure out exactly how to make some of these integrations. We really want to simplify it for end users so that it gets closer to kind of a push button versus, okay, we have to go through 6 steps to get a connection or an integration going. So you're going to see us working towards an integration center where we bring together all of the various resources that we have around what integrations are available, what webhooks are out there, how can I easily integrate those into my system. We want to kind of reduce the amount of time and the energy and the knowledge that it takes to get something going and start testing and playing with it and then getting it out to your end consumers. We're also going to be enhancing a bunch of our APIs and webhooks, including the documentation therein. So if you're using those kind of features, you're going to see a bunch of new capabilities coming out in that area. So that's great. That usually lends itself well for the teams that are applying, kind of engineering resources maybe to their Zingtree integrations or looking to have it connect to more of their systems. So some enhancements upcoming in that area. And then the last is one that's near and dear to my heart. I spent a bunch of time in this area, which is the data and telemetry. How do we make sure that we take all of the data that is being that's coming through your system? So as users are coming through a process, for example, they're coming through a tree, we're looking at the flow, we're seeing how agents maybe are utilizing one of the decision trees. How do we take that information and bring it to you all in a way that makes it easier for you to draw conclusions or make improvements in your business? So we're spending a bunch of time and energy in terms of orchestrating kind of our data for a future in which we're able to deliver that data back to you in more efficient ways and more delivery methods than currently exist today through our current reporting interfaces with Excel, largely Excel based. We want to be able to have different ways that you can receive that data, pull that in. Maybe you have your own BI tool that you're using. We want to be able to make it so that you can absorb that into your BI tool and utilize it. But you also have within Zingtree kind of a standalone reporting area. So you're also going to see some new reports and visualizations that come out. Instead of just Excel, you're going to have other charts and graphs that can give you a quick pulse on how things are going with your Zingtree implementation and your processes and how people are traversing it, whether it's agents or customers or internal users. So these are just a few of the things that we're working on at Zingtree. So I couldn't be more excited about it. we're the platform today, which is already super powerful, over the course of the next coming quarters is going to become supercharged. So super excited about it. Look forward to your feedback. Hope you have a great experience with it. And thank you for your time today. I really appreciate your time, your energy, the questions, and for you for being our customers. So thanks very much.
Thanks, Brandon. So we do have, first of all, this is all great. And as somebody that has used Zingtree for years and years, and somebody that has, watched both our team grow and our product grow, I can't tell you how excited I am. And I have to tell you that I have spent a lot of time building now in our new authoring experience, and it is a pleasure. So major props to our product and engineering team for everything that they have done. And this has been an incredible experience so far, and I can't wait for you guys to get your hands on it. So we will definitely keep you updated as to exactly when that will be. But just we have one question that's come in through the Q&A, and Brandon, I know that you can answer this well. Sanket asks, will there be an option to switch between old and the new visual designer?
So hi, Sanket. Thank you for the question. And I'm not sure if you can come off mute if you want to have a little bit back and forth around this too. If there's any follow-up questions, maybe Debbie can take a look at that while I'm answering your initial question. So just to read it off for the audience, if you aren't accessing the Q&A, is will there be an option to switch between the old and the new visual designer? Which is a great question and something that we absolutely considered, Sanket, as we're talking about how we move customers from the classic authoring experience into our new authoring experience. The short answer is we're moving organizations to the new authoring experience, and we want you to come over into this new experience because it is a better experience. And not only that, but this is going to be where we're providing all the future enhancements that we have that I'm showing here on this slide, the mini enhancement slide and so forth. Now, we don't want to be disruptive to your business as we do that, right? So we are phasing out the pattern in which we're moving organizations over, right? And so I'm not exactly sure where your organization is in that kind of migration from kind of the classic authoring experience or the old visual designer into the new authoring experience and visual designer. But we're trying to be very thoughtful about how we do that and the amount of time that you have to become acclimated to the new system, right? So if you have concerns about it, please feel free to reach out to your account manager or our support team, and we're happy to talk about that as well. But we're really excited about the new enhancements. And like Debbie just said, when you live in the tool, like we all do here at Zingtree, and you start to utilize the new features and functions, you'll find that there are a lot of efficiencies that's going to make that better. Having said that, we realize that it will take training, and you might just be one of many people that are utilizing the tool, and we have resources at hand to help you along that journey as well. So if you have concerns about that or questions, or you want to go a little bit deeper with our team, just let us know. We're happy to engage and help you as you change over into the new authoring experience.
Absolutely. And Sanket, thank you for your question. You do have the ability to come off mute if you'd like to. I have given that to you since you asked that question. So feel free to do that if you'd like, but go ahead, Sanket.
So really excited to see all these new changes. I mean, as an author, it's just really exciting to see Zingtree becoming, so snappier and, so powerful as a tool. So Brandon, thank you for answering that question. Really excited to, work more with Zingtree. Thank you.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Sanket. I really appreciate you being a customer. And we really mean it when we say we're listening to our customers. So if you have any feedback or things that we should consider or new enhancements that you'd like to see in the tool, please reach out to us. This is how we get some of the best ideas that we can bring to the platform. We're here for you, and our job is to make sure that we're supporting you and your businesses as effectively as we humanly can. And that really means listening to what you're trying to accomplish. So, and the best way to do that is for you to just tell us directly. So we're all ears. And that goes for anybody in the audience, anybody who watches this webinar later on a recording. Please feel free to reach out to Zingtree at any time with your comments or suggestions on how we can improve.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. First of all, thank you, everyone. We know that your time is valuable, and so we really do appreciate that you took the time to spend a little bit of your day with us as we went through this, what's really exciting here for us at Zingtree, our new authoring experience. And we will be in touch with you with details. But as Brandon mentioned, feel free to reach out to us at any time with any questions that you might have, any concerns, and we're always happy to help. One thing real quick, the one thing I've found with the new user experience is that the new authoring experience is that you really don't need to relearn anything that you already know if you know how to build trees in Zingtree. We're just making it more modern, more advanced, and definitely faster. And I think in a more enjoyable product to work in. Okay, with that, thank you, everyone. Appreciate your time, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.